My name is Alicia. Welcome to the 2000 Core English Words and Phrases video series. Each lesson will help you learn new words, practice, and review what you've learned. Okay, let's get started. First is intravenous. 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 Intravenous means inside the vein. So veins carry blood around the body. It's one of the things that our body uses to take blood from like the hand, for example, back to the heart. But when we use something intravenously, it means it goes inside the vein, like medicine. Here's an example. The nurse started an intravenous line, IV, to give the patient fluids. The nurse started an intravenous line, IV, to give the patient fluids. The nurse started an intravenous line, IV, to give the patient fluids. Doctor's office. Doctor's office. Doctor's office. The doctor's office is the place that you go to have a checkup, or if you have a problem, you go there to ask the doctor to help you fix whatever is wrong with you. So the doctor's office might be separate from the hospital. Here's an example. The doctor's office is near the library. The doctor's office is near the library. The doctor's office is near the library. Thermometer. 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 A thermometer is a device we use to check the temperature of the body. So if you're feeling very hot, someone like a doctor or nurse might use a thermometer, maybe in your ear or under your arm, to check your temperature. Here's an example. The nurse used a digital thermometer to take the patient's temperature. The nurse used a digital thermometer to take the patient's temperature. The nurse used a digital thermometer to take the patient's temperature. Needle. 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 A needle is a very, very sharp piece of metal that's at the end, usually, of some kind of medicine in medical cases. And we use needles to push the medicine into the body. So lots and lots of people really don't like needles. Here's an example. When the patient saw the size of the needle, he fainted. When the patient saw the size of the needle, he fainted. When the patient saw the size of the needle, he fainted. Take a bath. Take a bath. Take a bath. To take a bath means to wash the body by sitting in water. So when we take a bath, we are surrounded in water and we clean ourselves while we are in the water. Here's an example. I'll take a bath at the hotel. I'll take a bath at the hotel. I'll take a bath at the hotel. Sick. 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 Sick has a couple different uses. When we are not feeling well, sick means that we don't feel healthy. Some people also use the word sick to mean cool or crazy, but generally, when we're talking about our health and we describe ourselves as sick, it means not good. Here's an example. If you get sick, go to the doctor. If you get sick, go to the doctor. If you get sick, go to the doctor. Cough syrup. Cough syrup. Cough syrup. Cough syrup is a very common medicine that we use to fix coughs. So this syrup comes from the very, very kind of sticky and thick liquid that we drink. So it's not like water, but it's quite thick, like a syrup. This is specifically for coughs. Here's an example. The doctor prescribed her a cough syrup. The doctor prescribed her a cough syrup. The doctor prescribed her a cough syrup. Aspirin. 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 Aspirin is a very common type of medicine. Many people like to use aspirin as an everyday painkiller. So if they're not feeling well, like they have a headache or some other kind of ache, they might take aspirin to fix that. Here's an example. I took a pill of aspirin. I took a pill of aspirin. I took a pill of aspirin. Antibiotic. 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 Antibiotic might also be pronounced antibiotic. You might hear both of those. But an antibiotic is supposed to kill kind of bacteria, something that's causing an infection in the body. So when we take antibiotics, it's specifically targeting a certain kind of germ. Here's an example. The infection improved when she started taking an antibiotic. The infection improved when she started taking an antibiotic. The infection improved when she started taking an antibiotic. Vaccine. 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 A vaccine is like a preventative medicine. It's something that we take before, something that we receive before we get sick. So we usually have vaccines for very dangerous kinds of illnesses. We take the vaccine or we get a vaccine injection, which protects us from the more severe types of reactions we might have if we get sick with that disease. Here's an example. I recently got an injection of the H1N1 vaccine. I recently got an injection of the H1N1 vaccine. I recently got an injection of the H1N1 vaccine. Let's review. I'm going to describe a word or phrase in English. See if you can remember it. Then repeat after me, focusing on pronunciation. Ready? Do you remember how to say the word that means something that we put inside the vein of the body, for example, medicine? Intravenous. Intravenous. And how to say the expression that means the location where the doctor and his staff or her staff do their practice. Doctor's office. Doctor's office. How about the word that means the device you use to measure the temperature of your body? Thermometer. Thermometer. Do you remember how to say the very, very sharp piece of metal that is at the end of a syringe to push medicine into the body? Needle. Needle. Let's try the expression that means to wash your body while sitting inside water. Take a bath. Take a bath. What about the expression that means that you are not healthy? Sick. Sick. Now, let's see if you remember how to say the word that means the medicine that you take specifically for cough problems. Cough syrup. Cough syrup. Another one. What about the word that means the type of medicine that many people commonly take to help with pain? Aspirin. Aspirin. Do you remember how to say the type of medicine that is targeted for infections? Antibiotic. Antibiotic. And finally, do you remember how to say the type of medicine that we get before we become sick with something in order to protect ourselves from severe problems? Vaccine. Vaccine. Well done. See you next time.